Well, good afternoon. I'm here again to give you an update on the situation in Ukraine and the latest from the Institute for the Study of War. As you can see on the screen, is that Russian forces are not making significant progress around the Bakhmut and Donetsk Oblast or anywhere else along the front lines, even though the Russians are claiming, remarkably, that they are making progress consistent with other militaries and the experiences of other militaries in conventional war. This is an absolute lie. As the ISW indicates, the Russians have been losing everywhere on the map. That is in the Kharkiv Oblast and Luhansk. And they are losing in Kherson, although I'll have to say a few things about Kherson to kind of rectify a few claims that I made and that were inspired by Russian disinformation. But as you can see here, the ISW basically says that the Russian claims that they're making progress in the Donetsk Oblast, that is in the central region, are absolute lies, and that they are intended to bolster the political standing of Yevgeny Prigoshin. You will remember from the last video, who is known as Putin's chef because of all those corrupt catering government contracts. And it is, I mean, it's suggested that Prigozhin is trying to displace the Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, and that he is using these claims to bolster his position and his Wagner group, private military group, to undermine the political role and support for Sergei Shoigu. Although there is some suggestion that he is aiming at higher and that he's aiming at Putin. Uh, we'll see about that. He's certainly making a lot of noise, but much of this is politically motivated and without any real substance. The map indicates that the Ukrainians are making significant inroads in the northeastern front, that is Svatove to Kremina, and that they are likely interdicting the road, the P66 road. Um, we'll see how that turns out, but it seems that the Ukrainians are making significant advances there. In terms of Kherson, the indicators last week were that the Russians were evacuating. It doesn't seem like they're doing that. Ultimately, I believe that the writing's on the wall and that the Russians will lose Kherson, but it may take a little longer given the fact that the Russians have decided to dig in and fight, although they're bringing in conscripts which are woefully undertrained and undersupplied. And once the real cold hits in, even the cold is likely to devastate them. So I think Kherson will fall. It may take a few more weeks than I suggested last week, but it will fall. Um, in addition to that, I like to turn to Russian commentators who are now, remarkably again, I mean, the Russian propaganda is almost imbecilic in its I mean, it's laughingly imbecilic if it weren't tragic. It's now claiming that Russia is in a jihad, a struggle against Satan, and they're making these claims on television. These are morons. It's unfortunately they seem to be, and I understand what how they seem to be resonating with some percentages of the Russian people who are orthodox and tied into tradition and bizarrely believe that somehow the Ukrainians are fostering Satanism. And I'll show you. And there is also the claim, brutal claim that Russians should murder Ukrainian children and glee at the Russian rapes of Ukrainian women and children, which is just horrendous. I mean, it's subhuman. But I will show you these clips to kind of confirm what I'm saying here. The first one will be a very important uh, commentator on Russian state television. And look what he has to say. It's bizarre. I mean, this stuff is Old Testament absurdity. We will suffer because we have sinned so much and we're up against Satanists. And now they claim that, by the way, the claim is that Ukraine has hundreds of Satanists in a population of 44 million. I'm sure there are more than that. But that Satan is taking a role in the struggle against Russia. It's bizarre. It kind of speaks to the Russian belief that they have a sacred mission as Third Rome to save the West from itself. It is a bizarre situation, and made even more bizarre by the fact that these people are speaking authoritatively on Russian television. And like to kind of follow that up with the just brutal call for the murder of children. Now, to be fair, this individual that we'll see has been suspended because his claims went too far, even for Russian television, which is, hard to believe, but I guess a fact. And you can see a little bit of this, and I'll run it for you. He's speaking to a science fiction author, and he makes some claims about what the Russians should do to Ukrainian children. It's just bizarre, isn't it? I guess a lot of expletives, even in Russian. Unbelievable. Burn them up. Burn up children and people. Unbelievable. This Russian, the Mongols were kinder. And then finally, just to end this, I would like to show a clip where there was a mistake. A Russian government official didn't know that the mic was hot and admitted that the UAVs, the drones that they're using, are actually provided by Iran. And I'll show you that as well. And just to show that Russians are not only, the Russian government is not only evil, but they're incompetent. They're basically morons. There you go. I just wanted to show you how Russia is acting in ways that are both idiotic and um, just bizarre. And this is part of the Russian take. Now, just to close it out for today, the Russians are also remarkably claiming in the UN that the Ukrainians are going to use bombs that somehow release mosquitoes with infectious diseases, and they're going to use these to infect both civilians and the Russian military. At this point, one can only believe that the Russian government is insane, not only evil, but incompetent and ultimately insane. Well, if you like this video, and I hope you do, yeah, I would appreciate a like, and please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.